Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Kenneka Jenkins. She was never at the Marriott Hotel. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, Kenneka Jenkins. She was never at the Marriott Hotel. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, Kenneka Jenkins was never at the Marriott Hotel. And as time is winding down, I am just winding up. And I am not going to stop talking about the Kenneka Jenkins case just because a few content creators wants to stop talking about the case upon the anniversary of Kenneka Jenkins' demise. But as for Edward Joseph, I am still going to talk about the case, peoples. Oh, yes, I am. I'm still going to talk about the case, peoples. And so, peoples, I am here for the long run. And we're going to get in here and we're going to break apart, digest. We're going to tear apart. We're going to look, we're going to analyze the case files. Because as I've shown you on the other day, peoples, if you watched the live the other day, and that live was just absolutely stunning, peoples. I literally broke it down. I mean, I literally broke that thing down. Man, look at here. I broke that thing down so bad that T Slay couldn't say one word. But you already knew that she had a word to say. But even though that she had a word to say, she still didn't have a word to say. And so there it is, peoples. I peoples, I just love what I do. I don't understand why people get so angry and so bent out of shape, all because I am just shooting my shot. I'm just shooting my shot, peoples. I'm just like letting you know that Kenneka never was at the Marriott. And so, people, she had to admit on the other night that she doesn't really know if Kenneka was at the Marriott or not, but she knows all about the party on the west side of Chicago. Well, let me tell you some people. The party on the west side of Chicago has absolutely nothing to do with Kenneka Jenkins. I'll tell you that. And see, people's time in and time out, day in and day out, from every person who ever gave testimony in the Kenneka Jenkins case, has clearly stated unequivocally and undeniably that they were at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Now, I don't understand why T. Slay is being so hard headed. I really don't understand that. I mean, she's a bright young lady, but you got it wrong, Slay. You got it wrong. And just admit that you got it wrong, ma'am. Kenneka never, ever been at the Marriott. And Kenneka never, ever was at the party on the west side of Chicago. And see, this is one of the reasons why Slay just won't challenge me. She just won't come and speak with Edward Joseph and prove her case. Now, since it's winding up, and since this is a marathon run for the last run for Slay to talk about Kenneka forever and a day, which I already know that's a lie, but it probably do the community, good favor if Slay gets off of here. Um, Before she goes, I just want to have one conversation with her to let her prove to me and to all of you that Kenneka Jenkins was ever at the Crown. I mean, ever at the Marriott or ever at the party on the West Side. I mean, I don't understand why she has to be the oddball. I don't understand why she has to be complacent, because there's no proof. It doesn't matter how much you cuss. It doesn't matter how much you fuss. It doesn't matter how much you scream or holler. It doesn't matter how much you continue to keep saying, trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm here to tell you, Kenneka was never at the Marriott, and Kenneka was never at the party on the West Side. Because see, if you guys go with that narrative, let's just think about that just for one moment. If you go with the narrative that Kenneka was at a party on the West Side of Chicago and she was left at a party, well, then what you're saying to me is that everybody is a conspirator. Everybody needs to be prosecuted for RICO because they conspired to unalive Kenneka Jenkins. Now, was Kenneka Jenkins just such a special Black girl that all of her so-called friends and family and then establishment go ahead and conspire to cover up the unalization of Kenneka Jenkins? I want you to think about that just for one moment. Think about what Slay is saying. Even if Kenneka was left at the party on the West Side, what she's saying is the kids taking her to the Marriott. And for what? Why would they take her to the Marriott when they could have just took her home? I mean, even if they SA'd her or did whatever to her, why not just take her home? You know, she said that Bree didn't want to drive the car with a donut on it. So what did they do with the car that had a donut on it? Because they had to have TM's car, right? So what did they do? Did they go and did they exchange TM's car? And who car did they get? Because see, the thing is, people, see this is what doesn't make no sense to me. I don't understand it. She continues to keep alluding that Bree said that she doesn't want to drive the car with a donut on it. But how did they get to the Crown Plaza? And TM had already stated that bring my car home. So how did the car get back to TM? And then where did they take Kenneka if she was left at a party? Where did they take her, T Slay? I mean, you said that the girls had Kenneka on their backs. Really? So if Kenneka is liberated, y'all see how skinny Monifa and Shamaya was at the time? How in the hell is those girls going to have thick Kenneka on their backs, peoples? Really? I mean, the kids can be just like Woody and tell you anything, and you're going to be dumb enough to believe it, peoples? Really? I mean, these kids has been saying everything under the sun and then some, and you're going to be dumb enough to believe it? Peoples, God has given each and every one of you common sense. But I have learned over the years, peoples, that some of your sense is not common. And some of you just literally don't have no sense. And the madness that Slay is putting out there just doesn't make no sense at all to me. And so I think I'm a reasonable person, peoples. I think I am reasonable, but I just can't get with that narrative that Kenneka never was at the Crown Plaza when we clearly see the pictures and videos, and we can clearly match up the core in the bathroom. But let Slay tell it. Just believe me. Really? Really, ma'am? Oh my God, people's boy. You guys must be the most hilarious and nefarious people there is to believe that madness. But that's okay, people. Continue to keep believing that madness, because I'm going to continue to keep putting my narrative out there to show you unequivocally and undeniably that Kenneka Jenkins was at the Crown Plaza. Now there are some discrepancies as to when Kenneka was supposed to had came to the Crown Plaza based upon the narratives that the people had gave. And that's what we're going to analyze, people, tonight. Oh, yes, we're going to get back into it, peoples, because we found some discrepancies, peoples. And see, I've always said if there's common ground, peoples, in all of the narratives, well, then 9 times out of 10, that must be true. And so one common ground that we can find is that one, Kenneka was at the Crown Plaza. Everybody stated that. And it's just only T Slay, custom design in Jig, Fred the Jig, that just keeps reiterating this point that Kenneka was never at the Crown Plaza. She was at the Marriott. Really, peoples, show me any video footage or pictures of Kenneka ever being at the Marriott or ever being at the party on the west side of Chicago. I mean, come on, peoples. You can sit here and you can say that she was at or left at the party. Prove to me that Kenneka was ever left at a party, peoples. Prove to me that. I'm waiting, but she can't. And that's why she continues to keep saying what she's saying on her channel because, see, she controls everything on her channel, but she can't control the narrative. And when the people like Edward Joseph calls her out for the hilarious and nefarious narratives that she puts out, well, then people's, guess what? I just have to keep the pressure on, and I just have to keep reeling it in and let the people know that that is a hilarious and nefarious narrative that she's putting out. And I have to call her to the carpet for the madness that she speaks. So, people, that's it. That's all that I have right now. I'll be back. But just know, Kenneka Jenkins was never at the Marriott. Is that all right, peoples? So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon today. Tune in again next time to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2024 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, Kenneka Jenkins was never at the Marriott. And Kenneka Jenkins was never left at a party on the west side of Chicago. Because, see, peoples, if that been the case, then you have to tell me that all of these peoples in establishments work together to conspire to unalive a black young girl named Kenneka Jenkins. And peoples, that's just not so. God gave you common sense. Use it. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.